So I'm Shona, and I am Sam's colleague at the Village Storytelling Centre. And I do have to say, this is quite an emotional session today, because we've nearly done it. We set out almost a year ago to move this online. And at the start, I didn't think it would be possible to move my practice online, because for us, storytelling is something which has to be eye to eye and heart to heart, and in person. And I imagine it's quite similar for a lot of care. But we found that it was possible. There was ways we could open up and we can change our practice. And actually, we've ended up connecting with a lot more people. So we've now talked to hundreds of people all over Scotland about their experiences of having dementia or working and living with it. And I'm going to share with you a little collection of some of these thoughts today. Stories, we think at the Village, and I believe, are incredibly powerful tools to help us have better conversations. It's quite a niche role, I have to say. And when I often people ask me, what is a storyteller? Does that mean you tell stories to children? Or why did you get into this? And I've been reflecting on that recently, and I realised that one of the first moments I wanted to be a storyteller in social contexts is because of my own experience with dementia. My gran, she was from Glasgow, and she was cared for first by the family and then later in a care home. And I was a teenager, so I was sheltered from a lot of the more intensive care role, and probably some of the more difficult moments. But I was there for the chatting moments, for the moments when my auntie and my mum could take a break and I would be with my gran one-on-one. And I have to say, those conversations remain some of my most treasured memories of my gran. I found that she would reminisce to a point that it felt like neither of us were still in the room, in the care home or in her living room. In fact, we'd moved back in time to these precious memories that she had chosen to share. And she had two memories in particular which jumped out. The first was when she was a child during her family holidays to the Isle of Bute, when she'd take her shoes off at the start of the summer and they wouldn't go back on until she had to get on the boat back to Glasgow. And the second was when she was a teenager herself, working in the Savoy Hotel as a call exchange girl just after the war. And both of these memories were ones of freedom, of independence, of pleasure, of connecting to the world around her, the natural world and also the social world around her. And it was such a pleasure to be with her in those memories. And I started to appreciate how important having those spaces to talk and to reminisce and to create new memories were for her and also for me. So that's one of the reasons I'm a storyteller. And when we think about storytelling in dementia contexts, I feel like it's a natural fit. There's a great deal of pressure on people who have dementia in regards to recall of knowledge, of getting things correct. And with storytelling from the very start, that pressure is taken off the table. We're dealing with the imagined or the deeply personal, and so completely subjective, things that we construct or reinvent. We don't have to get it right. We're making it up. And also, when we think about it, all of our pasts are constructed now. The memories that we have, they don't exist anymore. And my memory of an event isn't the actual truth of it. It's my experience, which is very subjective, based on a set of circumstances that I'm piecing together. So the past is story. And when you think about it, the future, it doesn't exist yet. It's completely imagined. And we have to be able to have skills and imagination in order to perceive the future that we want, or a positive future, and then to build it. So one of my main drivers is to encourage adults to take their imaginations seriously and develop skills in them, because we can't build the futures we want unless we do that. So I've been asking people, and my colleagues that have been running these sessions, we've been asking people, what is care? What does care mean to you? And we've gathered little snippets of these answers from all over Scotland, and we've compiled them into a list. So I won't read the full list because it's really long now because we've talked to so many people, but I'll read you some of the highlights, and then the people that were in our sessions, I wonder if they can recognise their voices in this list. Care is a big word. It's friends, close friends. Sometimes it comes from people you don't expect. It's nature, taking action, having fun, and being comfortable enough to be silly. Care is life-changing. Care is advice, big advice or little whispers in your ear. Care means the world. It's human touch. It's seeing beyond and encouragement. Care is connection. Care is being seen for who you are, not being tarred with someone else's brush. It's person-centered. Care is community, empathy, shared experience. Care can be momentary or consistent. Care is to support and enable. Care means different things to different people, but it's part of everyone's life at some point. To be caring is wanting to see the goodness of a person or a community. Care can be a lifelong commitment. It's taking note of what's going on. It's note-taking. Most of my job is writing notes. Care is awareness and reflection. Care is happening now. You can receive care from a person you assumed should be the one who needs caring for. My carer is my friend. If care is not there, it's heartbreaking. It's kind words and affection. It's listening, listening, listening. Sharing is eye contact and understanding, empathy, safety, connection. To care is to empower. It's resilience. It's supporting someone to be part of their society. It's validation, respect. It's being valued, acceptance, laugh, smile, joy. Care is teamwork, interaction based on strengths. Care is trust, touch. Care is within you. It's a behaviour. It's not taught, it's nurtured. Care is relationships. It's realism. It's teamwork. It's your energy, your intuition, your generosity, your advocacy, your time. Care is draining. Care is demanding. It is demoralising. Care is exhausting. Care is not always rewarding. I want to make sure you have written down that care can be emotionally painful. It can be shocking. It can be frustrating. To the very last of your patients. If I speak from what's in my heart right now, care is doom and gloom. It's hard to care when you're empty. There's nothing more of me I can give right now. There's never enough time to care for myself. Care is processing time, and we need more of that. Care is good. Do you know what? It's good. It's in sickness and in health. Care is, if you don't believe me, I'll believe for you until you do. Care is our privilege. Care is key. Care is brave. Care is essential. Care is felt. Carers are who we all are. It's allies, a network. Care is a community. So that's a snapshot of what care means to people all over Scotland living with dementia in their own lives and in their working and personal lives. So I'm going to move on to the priorities now. So if we can have the first priority slide up, please. Brilliant. So priority number 1. Just because, I'll go with the title first. We need to support people with dementia to be part of the decision-making process where they can. We need to make sure people's rights are protected. Just because you have a diagnosis of dementia, it doesn't automatically take your rights away or mean you are unable to make decisions for yourself and your own life. Because someone has dementia, or even no longer has capacity, that doesn't mean they don't have a view or can't express an opinion towards their care. Priority 2. Unpaid carers are living with dementia too. There needs to be support offered at every stage of their journey. Physical and mental health can be severely affected. Carers can feel burnt out very quickly. You're constantly firefighting, putting out fires. Your caring life and your personal life, you're just constantly fighting one battle after another. Priority 3. We need to reach people at the point of diagnosis so that support can be provided for both the person with dementia and for carers before they reach crisis point. Linking up with GP services also needs to be better. People do fall through the net. The link worker should be connected to the GP that gave the initial diagnosis. People usually come to services at the point of crisis, but this doesn't create the best outcomes. Hear, hear. Priority 4. Sharing of information needs to be much better between different services and agencies, so that access to opportunities and support are readily and widely available across communities. The services are there, but people don't have the capacity to go and search the whole of Glasgow to find out who can help them financially and who can help them with this and that. There should be a one-stop shop to get all the information. Priority 5. There is a real need for person-centred care and to listen to those affected by dementia. Those living with it, unpaid carers and families, we need to make sure that people are getting all the things they need when they need them. One size fits all doesn't work. Everyone's situation is different. Sometimes it's a case of these are the rules and you've just got to deal with it rather than being person-centred. I can hear the people saying these in my head. And priority 6. There needs to be more investment in peer support. A diagnosis of dementia can be very isolating. Peer support can provide a much needed lifeline when friends may have disappeared over the years, and you can learn from and support each other. Peer-to-peer support is so valuable. People can really help each other, be an inspiration, and give one another great ideas. People lose friends because people don't know how to act. People don't know enough about it. And finally, priority 7. Transport is a real barrier for carers and people living with dementia to access support, services and activities. This needs to be improved as services start to reopen and we emerge from the pandemic. Services are scattered across the city and it makes things very stressful. Thank you very much. So there are the 7 priorities which emerged from the conversations we've been having over the last couple of weeks, and I think they're really powerful. I can hear people speaking them, and I'm reminded again how wise these people are and how valued their voices are in this discussion. They are the most important voices to be listening to. So I'm going to pass back over to Arlene, and but before I do, I just want to say thank you to everyone at Life Changes Trust for creating this incredible platform and for allowing me to join them on this journey when I never thought it was possible in the first place. I feel really honoured to have been part of the discussion. So thanks, and back to Arlene.